Well, hello again everyone, and welcome back to Corvette Enterprises. We are currently working on the AMT 63 Stingray, and this is what we've gotten done so far. First of all, I just want to kind of go over the instructions here again momentarily. We have the engine, as all instructions usually start off with when you're working on cars. In this particular kit, they give you 4 options, and the first option is basically a custom engine, and then the next one would be a street rod engine, and the third one would be a stock 327 engine, and then the last option is the optional fuel injection. And some of these parts are interchangeable as far as, you know, mix and match depending on what engine you want to put together. So there was enough parts, like I say, on the sprue tree where I went ahead and glued together 2 engines for the Corvette. I went ahead and chose the custom version, as well as the stock 327 engine. You see right here. So with that being said, we'll bring the assembled engine parts up close, and as you can see, we've got the custom engine. I'm gonna put that there for you. We've got them all glued in together, and we went ahead and painted them up. As far as the instructions are concerned, it doesn't matter what of the 4 options that you have. They want the engine block, I guess, itself painted in orange. So I went ahead and used my Craft Smart gloss acrylic paint and hand painted the, like I said, the engine block together on that. And then again, because other parts, I went ahead and used some Craft Smart satin black. And as far as the air filter, you see up here on top, I went ahead and did the Molotov chrome, and I kind of brushed that in to kind of give it that chrome look to it. And of course, then we have the front part of it here, where you got the fan and the pulleys and everything like that. Got that all painted up and everything. All right, as well as the exhaust pipes and the back of the transmission. As far as the transmission itself, we used the I believe it was the Folk Art Silver Sterling. So that is done. So there is your look of the custom engine for the 63 Corvette. So that was the one option. And then the other engine, I went ahead with the stock, I guess, what was it, the what we got here? Yeah, the 327 engine. So this is what this looks like here. So I got that all nicely painted up as well. Pretty much the same colors as the custom. So you can see the front here as well. Alright, I do not have the filter glued on right now because it was easier for me to paint everything up first before I do the last bit with the air filter. And speaking for the air filter on this particular 327 engine, let's see if I can bring this for you. Now there's kind of a close-up look of that right there. And this particular air filter kind of reminds me of Star Trek with one of their starships. It looks like the round part of it looks like the primary hull, and then the 2 outer things, as you can see, like right here, looks like the nacelles of a starship. So kind of reminds me of like I said, a Star Trek starship kind of make. So that is the actual air filter. That is another like option for the 327 engine. So I will be gluing that up shortly on that. And we went ahead And once the engines were put together, I went ahead to the next step, which is basically the wheel assembly. I went ahead and used the stock wheels versions, because I'm going to kind of, like say, make this like a street ridden vehicle instead of the the ones with the slick tires on and everything like that. So that's what the actual stock wheels look like here. And on the back of it, I went ahead and scraped off the outer perimeter of the stock wheels on the reverse side and took all the chrome plating off, so I have something to glue my wheel inners onto. So I did that up for all four of the wheels, and then once I glued it together, I basically on both sides I glued it together, and we used some clothespins to kind of hold it in place once the glue cures on it. So that's where we're at with the wheels. And so with that also being said, we'll stand by and we will go ahead and take a look at the next part of the instructions, which would be the chassis and wheel assembly. So stand by and we will be right back. Okay, moving right along, we're at the number 3 stage in the instructions. It's the chassis and wheels part of it, as well as we went ahead and kind of started initially with step 4 for the interior bucket design. So with that being said, we went ahead and used some of our Craftsmart gray to do the primer. So here we have the interior bucket with our primer coat on there. I did go ahead and use my Pache airbrush for this, and just to lay down the initial coat. So it kind of helps bring out the details a little bit more, as you can see here with the 2 front seats. And then of course they've molded in the pedals as well, so you can kind of maybe see that. Alright, so there's the interior bucket, and we went ahead and did the same for the dashboard itself. Of course, I kept them on the sprue tree. It was a little bit easier for me to do that when I was spraying it. So once again, the dashboard and some of the seat belts, and then we have our steering wheel. So that's all primed with the gray paint. Again, bringing out the details a little bit more. So that is done. And then on the final sprue tree that I sprayed, the basically I guess that's the water bottle right there, and the battery. And then we have our, looks like our firewall and part of our radiator. So there you go. So those were the 3 initial pieces that I've sprayed with the gray. Now for the actual chassis itself, went ahead and applied the initial coat of the Craftsmart satin black through the airbrush again, and we went ahead and covered the entire area with that on both sides. A little bit in the front here, not so much here in the back, but just the front part, I guess, where the engine goes itself. And then once the initial spraying of the chassis with the black was done, we went back and hand painted the exhaust pipes and everything, the mufflers, with the Folk Art Silver Sterling. So that was done there. And then we went ahead and I added a little bit more detail by using the Sharpie bronze metallic pen. And so you can see that, a little bit of a detail there. And then for the little kind of like bolts and rivets, I went ahead and used a toothpick and just kind of dabbed it into the silver sterling, and then just kind of went through and just went ahead and highlighted some of the screws and bolts and stuff like that, just to kind of give it some interest on that. So this is basically where we're at right now with the build for our first episode of this series, and we will go ahead and continue moving forward with it. And like I said, we're just keeping this kind of short and sweet for the first episode. So with that being said, I hope everybody has a good weekend, and we will catch you on the next episode. See you later. Bye.